How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video and episode 2 of trading from nothing all the way up to a Titanic pet in Pet Simulator 99. Now, just before we get into the video, I'd like to mention that I am giving away 2 huge Wizard Westies when the channel hits 1,000 subscribers. If you'd like to enter, then all you have to do is drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and finally comment your gamer tag down below. And you could win yourself a free huge pet, so make sure to enter the giveaway. But anyway, in the last episode of this series, I believe we ended off with just over 700,000 diamonds. I've spent a few since then, and I've also been able to get into the second world. And this did take a couple of hours, but I think it's definitely worth it, and you guys honestly didn't miss out on much, because my diamonds are pretty much still the same. So I think this episode is going to focus a little bit more on trading, and trying to get a couple million diamonds at least. So the first thing that we're going to do is actually teleport over to the trading plaza, and I guess we're going to try and make a bit of profit. Okay, so we're now in the trading plaza, and I just want to mention that I've seen a few people ask how to make profit, especially at a lower level when you don't really have too many diamonds. So hopefully this video is going to be perfect for some of you who are looking to make profit when you're pretty much starting from fresh, as you're going to be able to watch me buy and sell stuff and try and make profit even though I'm pretty poor. And the first thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and set up my booth and just see if there's anything in my inventory that I can sell for a few diamonds. I've got some items like the rave gift and some crystal keys, which aren't really worth a lot anymore, but they'll still get me a little bit. So I've listed up everything I think will sell, and I've actually sold the rave gift already, so that's pretty cool. We've now got 779,000 diamonds to try and make some profit with. So without any more further ado, let's try and find some items that I can buy. And I believe I've just found a few good deals over in this booth. So first of all, there's some rave hoverboards being sold for pretty cheap, but I can't afford those. But there are some rainbow mini chests being sold for pretty cheap as well, and also some exotic treasure flags and golden prison keys. I think I'm gonna go for these rainbow mini chests, but I can only afford one, which isn't too great, but we'll pick it up anyway. And I'll tell you what, I am going to take 3 of the flags as well. Hopefully I'll be able to flip those for a little bit of profit. So let's go ahead and set up the booth. I've got the crystal keys left, everything else has sold, but let's go ahead and list this rainbow mini chest up for 671,000. There we go, that is the suggested price. And also all of these exotic treasure flags will list up for 86.5k. So yeah, I'm going to let those sell, and I'll come back when I have a few more diamonds. Okay, so I was actually able to sell the rainbow mini chest, and I'm now pretty much back to 700,000 diamonds. So let's keep repeating this method and find another item to buy. And I think if these high pegs were valued a little bit lower, I would pick them up, but I don't know if I'll make profit on these. Maybe if they were 500k, I'd buy them, but yeah, I'm gonna avoid it. And there's nothing really in this server that I want to buy now, so let's find a new one. I'm actually so annoyed right now because I just joined this server where this was being sold, and it had like 2 seconds left when I saw it, and I wasn't able to bid for it. It was going for 1 diamond and it's worth 3.47 million. Okay, I missed out. I haven't been able to find anything for a little bit, so I think I'm going to take all of these spinny wheel tickets, and I'll be able to make roughly 1,000 on each one. So that should be over 100k, and I guess we'll see how that goes. And just in case you were wondering, this is how my booth is currently looking. I'm selling all of the spinny wheel tickets for the suggested price, and the exotic treasure flags for 88k, so hopefully I'll be able to get my diamonds back up. Okay, so I gave it a little bit of time for those items to sell, and we now have 1.35 million, which I think is a really good starting point, but we need to make even more. So I was able to find a high peg being sold for pretty much 100,000 below the suggested price, so I decided to pick that up, as well as a lucky egg potion, which was pretty cheap as well. So yeah, I'm going to list those both up. The high peg I'm going to be selling for 580k, which is still a little bit below the suggested price, but it's fairly hard to sell at the moment. And then I'm also going to list up the potion for just the suggested price of 244,000. I've also found that arcade tokens can be pretty good for making profit, so I picked up quite a few for 30k each and relisted those for 33.9. I was also able to find a diamond enchant being sold for 50k below the suggested price, so of course I had to pick that up as well. And I was actually starting to find quite a few good trades, because I was also able to pick up a high peg, and I bid 400,000. It's selling for roughly 580 to 600k at this point, so yeah, I should be able to make a good amount of profit with that as well. And moving on, I also found 19 mini chests being sold for 5k below their suggested price each, so I picked those up and I'll relist those for about 31k because they're really easy to sell. And literally like 30 seconds later, somebody had bought all of them, so yeah, that was really good. And at this point, I haven't really found any amazing trades, but this guy just kept listing up items for below their suggested price, and I kept buying them, so I was able to make a decent decent amount of profit off of all of the items that he was listing. It was only potions most of the time though, which isn't amazing because I have found that potions can be hard to sell, but at this price I had to pick them up and I relisted those, and sure enough they did sell. And I'm not gonna lie, I was struggling for trades a little bit. I wasn't really finding anything too great, but the rainbow mini chests at the moment are really good to sell, so I decided to pick up one of those. I can't really afford too many because, yeah, I'm quite poor, but I also bought as many gift bags as I possibly could from this guy. They were being sold for 500 below their suggested price, but they're also really cheap and okay to sell, so I picked up quite a few. And I thought I'd include a little clip of me relisting these items. So 643k for the rainbow mini chest, and then I'm also going to be listing up all of the gift bags for the suggested price. Now hopefully they do sell because I've struggled with these in the past, but yeah, I guess we'll see how it goes. Now unfortunately I wasn't able to record myself selling the items, but I was able to get rid of the rainbow mini chest, so I went back to the same guy from before and bought as many gift bags as I possibly could, which was all of them. So I now have all of those to sell, and yeah, hopefully it goes pretty well. I'm not gonna lie, trading isn't amazing at the moment. It's pretty slow, but hopefully when I do get a little bit richer, I'll be able to do bigger trades, which do get me a little bit more profit. And at this point, I'd sold pretty much everything in my booth, so I went back to buy another rainbow mini chest for 600k, which will get me a little bit of profit. And yeah, I guess I'll take that. Okay, so I was eventually able to find a booth that had loads of items that I wanted to buy. The arcade tokens were so cheap, and I also bought 140 crystal keys, which were about 1,000 below their suggested price, and also some spinny wheel tickets. So, yeah, I've spent a lot. My diamonds aren't looking too great, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I also bought a lucky egg potion, which I haven't had the best experience with in the past, but I bought it anyway, as well as some hacker keys. So I now have pretty much no diamonds, and I'm going to try and sell every item that I just bought. So yeah, let's go ahead and list that. And to be fair, my booth isn't looking that bad. I've got a load of items which I need to sell, so I guess for now what I have to do is just sit AFK and hope people buy my items. And it did take a while, but eventually I sold pretty much everything. I'm now at 2.65 million diamonds and buying a ton of hype eggs. I'm buying 5. It was all I could buy, and I'm going to try and relist those for 600k, maybe a little bit lower. They are very hard to sell, so I'm going to be sitting AFK for a while to actually get all of these gone, but eventually I should be sitting pretty well, and I think I'm going to end this episode off with at least 3 million diamonds, which is pretty decent. And then moving on to the next trade, after I sold I think 2 hype eggs, I was able to buy a bunch of charm stones, and again I did find a booth that had loads of items that I wanted to buy, so we're buying even more of these tickets, which to be fair aren't too great for making profit, but when you've barely got any diamonds, there's not too many items you can buy to make profit, so I'm picking those up. And yeah, I'm hoping I'll be able to get a little bit of profit, but again, I'm going to be sitting AFK for so long before these sell. And one thing that I do want to mention is that auctions can be so good for making profit, because a lot of people don't often look at it, and there can be an item that's being sold for way cheaper than it should be. So I was able to get this hype egg for 300,000. We're going to list it up for 590,000, and hopefully that will be a decent amount of profit. So yeah, I guess that's probably the best trade of the series so far. And now this is where we're currently at. I've got 905,000 diamonds, and I've still got a few of the spinny wheel tickets left, so hopefully those will sell fairly soon. And also the hype eggs aren't looking too great, so I'm going to go ahead and lower their price down to 580,000, and hopefully I'll be able to sell off all of those as well. But I think I'm going to end it there for this episode. I'm going to make sure these are sold before I start the next episode, so that we can start off with literally just diamonds. And to be honest, this hasn't really gone as well as I wanted it to, so I might do a little bit of grinding between now and the next episode to try and make a little bit more profit as well. But yeah, that is how things stand at the moment. Let me know if you like this editing style as well, because I did pre-record a few trades. But anyway, that is going to wrap it up. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, join the giveaway, all that good stuff, and I'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Nothing Too Titanic.